Diane, how are you this morning?
Well, I'm feeling pretty perky because I got in some of my exercise already, but I
Uh-oh.
think we've got someone here
Yeah.
who knows all about that,
Uh-oh. Tell
about
us. Tell us, pray
making
tell.
health foundation of life. You know what? I cannot wait to speak to Laura Matthys because I was just going over kind of my own life.
Mhm.
And Laura, I smoked 3 packs. You don't know this, Dale. I smoked 3 packs of unfiltered cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Wow.
From the time I was maybe 18 until I was 32. And then I noticed I was exhausted all the time. And it was because my breath was so shallow. I traded because I have a very addictive personality. So I have to watch out what I eat and stuff too. Because if you give me something like red meat or sugar, I'll just want to eat it forever. I gave up smoking
Uh-oh.
3 packs for becoming a total obsessed gym rat who went to as many classes morning and evening as I could and became a early morning and late evening runner as well. But Laura, I've got a story for you. You're going to love this. So
I can't wait to hear it.
Laura is all about healthy lifestyle as a passion and also as a true way of life and leading other women into a much a more, shall we say, eased version of growing older, because I think you hit the ground a lot less hard when you are running or aerobics. So last year, I went to a new doctor, a GP, a female. She does everything, all my blood work, and she said, "Oh my God, you're in the worst shape. Your blood pressure, your cholesterol, you're going to die at any minute. Your cholesterol is like the worst cholesterol I've ever seen. Your blood sugar, not good." She just goes down the whole list and it's, I'm failing the test, whatever it is. I said, okay, I don't want to take any old lady drugs. I want you to give me 9 months to change my diet, clean up my act, because I was being very bad, eating tons of ice cream and yeah, you name it, I was eating it. And unfortunately, she took the test right after the whole holiday season. I went back last week, Laura. She called me and she said, "What did you do?" And I said, "What do you mean? What did I do?" I'm thinking, no, I'm not a mass murderer. No, I'm not a serial killer. I did nothing. She said, "Your blood sugar is perfect." She said, "Your cholesterol, I already had statins ready for you to take and I canceled it. Your cholesterol went down to perfect. And your blood pressure is the blood pressure of a 20-year-old. I did it all through exercise and diet."
And good for you for doing that, because most people, unfortunately, in today's age, most people just want to be given a pill. Just put me on a pill and fix it. They don't want to go through the hard work that it takes to avoid going on medication. And the less medication we can be on as we get older, the better.
I think so too. Now, that is just my point of view, but I've met other women now who are of a like mind to us. So, for anybody that you know or that you are guiding right now who was maybe on heavy statins, everybody says the same thing to me, Laura. "I don't see why you don't go on statins. Then you can eat whatever you want." No, you can't.
Well, no.
It's still not good for your body. You're still going to
No.
gain weight.
And and the thing is, everybody, whether you're, I mean, I'm actually on statin. I have slightly high cholesterol, and it's just genetic. I'm actually going to my doctor this week to see if I can get off of it. But anything you can do to avoid being on medication. And nevertheless, we all need to be exercising. I mean,
Right.
bottom line,
Right.
whether you're in good shape or not, especially as we get older, we all must be exercising.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the majority of Americans aren't. I mean, it's frightening that only 24%, this is a scary number, 24% of Americans 18 and older are meeting the recommended 150 minutes a week. Only 24%.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
frightening.
Wow. That's scary.
I can see it, because I have instituted, and this is all part of me reclaiming my body as mine after the statin rise, and I gained 40 pounds during chemotherapy, but I've lost it, and everything I'm doing to bring my body back.
Right.
I have to give myself self-imposed guidelines. So one thing I heard was, if you eat your meals standing up, you will not only burn at least 100 to 200 calories just standing, but you will also, my thing is, oh, you do a little exercise, you're running around the house, then you make that carb-loaded meal, and you sit down and just tuck into all this comfort food. I am retraining my brain that, no, you're not just going to collapse on a sofa like a big loaf and be eating mac and cheese. You're going to be eating a primary protein, but you're standing while you do it. So now my brain is retraining to food is something to enjoy and a necessity, but it's not a reward, and it's not an excuse for flopping down and doing nothing. Am I crazy?
Well, I have not heard the standing while you eat one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did hear that.
Horses stand when they eat, right?
That's
In the
amazing.
past.
I haven't heard that one. I mean, meals should be mindful. I mean, we do need to be, when we're eating our meals, is, not be doing other things while we're eating. We need to be mindful when we're eating our meals. But I haven't heard the standing one. But, regarding moving, though, I mean, I think as we get older, people think that because they're walking or they're moving, that's enough. So if I make the point that it's not enough, I mean, I think you, Diane, said that you were exercising 300 minutes a week, right? I think, isn't what you told me when we talked
That's
earlier?
what I heard that. I heard that on one of the major news channels, like CNN. And so they came on and were talking about what you needed to be mindful with. And considering, for me, the fact that breast cancer, taking out all my lymph nodes on the left side, left me with lymphedema in my left arm. And so I tend to move some parts of my body less. I had to customize what I could do for myself. And in research, I don't know if you ran across this, Laura, but they said that big arm movements are very good for women. I think it's good for all the muscles that hold up your chest area, whatever. So I had to customize what I did.
Right.
No one in the gym was going to do that for me. And that's what I think, past a certain age, 55, you can make a million excuses, but your body, you're in charge of it. And so I took my exercise off the grid and created something for myself that was aerobic, but kept in mind some of the limitations I have.
Well, and that's exactly right, Diane. I mean, we all have different limitations. I've got a bad knee, and you've got, your issues, and Dale has his issues. We all have issues. So you have to find something that you can do. There's no excuse. Right. There's no excuse. We all have something that we can't do, and there is something that you can do. The thing is, you have to make a goal of getting 150 minutes in a week. I mean, I'm 61 years old, and I want 30 more years.
Yeah.
I mean, I
30 good more years, right?
I want 30 good more years.
Yeah.
And if you exercise, I mean, research shows that if you exercise 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity exercise, or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise, you increase your chances of living longer by 22%, or if you're going 300 minutes, 31% of dying by you know, I mean, any chance of living, I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
You know
Now,
what?
And especially if, sorry, Dale, especially if you are living a much more high quality life than you would ordinarily if you did not exercise. And that to me is a really important part. And I think I learned that during cancer treatment was quality of life, along with just saving your life, which you are doing by exercising, is everything. So Dale, tell us about your aerobic adventures.
Well, I'm gonna move my
He's
aerobic.
laughing.
I am laughing because as I teed them up, Laura, for our listeners, has such a great resource in terms of talking about this topic, because she's been doing this for more than 36 years as a franchisor for Jazzercise out in Oregon. So, and then I'm going to come back to your question, Diane, in a second. But Laura, you said you have a client who was 91 years old. Is that what you told us?
Yes,
Which
she's
means, which goes to Diane's point and yours, there's no excuse for not getting exercise. But tell us about her regimen and how you customized it using Diane's term for your 91-year-old client.
Sure. Yes. So Georgia is 91. We've been training together for, gosh, about 18 years now.
Wow, that's great.
18 years. We've met twice a week. During COVID, we didn't meet. And since COVID, we now meet at her home. And we do all strength work, balance work.
Wow.
And we don't
balance
really do
so important.
balance.
Yes.
There's really 4 types of exercise that seniors need, and that every, so 55 plus, there's 4 things.
So tell us. Yeah.
So balance, strength, endurance, and flexibility. Those are the 4 things that we need to be working on. So Georgia and I work on 3 of the 4. As far, I don't do any aerobic type work with her. She can go for her walks and she can do that on her own. But we work on all 3 of those twice a week. And I'll tell you what, this woman is strong. She uses 8-pound weights.
Whoa.
We do 3 sets of 10. We do whatever I come up with. You know, I think, okay, I don't think of her as 91. She can't do this. I think, okay, let's see if she can do it.
Yeah.
And she blows my mind, and I'll say, okay, let's try it. And sometimes I'll go, nope, that's not going to work. That's not going to work because of her shoulder, whatever. That's not going to work. Or we'll go to do a deadlift modification, whatever. And by golly, she can do it. So don't let age stop you from trying something. Try it.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing I think too is be very mindful of your diet. I would love to be vegetarian, but it's just not in me. I'll go crazy after a couple of days. I love protein. So I want fresh protein. I don't do any delivery food. And I am very mindful of what I put in my mouth. And every once in a while, I really go off the rails. I know me, and I'll bet you do know you too. And so I know if I get started, like on ice cream and pie, you're going to have to hold me down and grab it away from me and throw it out a window, or else I'm just going to go on eating it. So I'll give myself permission every once in a while to go off the rails on a holiday. But in general, I do and found for my age, 77, intermittent fasting truly works for me. I'm not great with portion control, so I eat 1 meal a day, but I may spread it out with protein first, and then 1 vegetable, and then maybe a couple of hours later, a fruit. I'm done for the day. That works best for me. At my age, 77, food just weighs me down. But I think that what happens in America is we get too linked into, as you get older, it is inevitable you're going to be sick and compromised. And so listen to your doctor and take all these drugs, and then those drugs are going to run your life, your health life, and you don't need to be so mindful of yourself. I never bought into that. How about you, Laura?
No, I mean, truly, as far as medicines go, your first medicine should be exercise.
That's
Exercise
good.
should be your
That's
first
good.
medicine.
I
Ah,
like
good way
that.
to put it. I
Yeah.
love
It really
that.
should. Yeah, I mean, and it is. I mean, exercise is medicine and it'll prevent you from going on other medications. Food is another, I mean, truly you can think of food as medication, because the food that you're putting into
Yes,
your body is fueling and medicating your body. And it
Mhm.
really kind of, it really kind of is. I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about
totally.
the fuel that you're putting in your body, if you're putting sugars and processed foods and and it is hard when you're I think of my mom when you're older and maybe just cooking for yourself and she's like, oh, I'll just buy all, these processed things. So this is easy.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
if you can get away from that, sure, once in a while,
Yeah.
my rule is in moderation. But if you can fuel your body with healthier foods and the exercise, yes, it might take a little bit more time, but
Yeah.
it's going to give you a lot more time on this blessed earth. And that's what we want, right? I
You
mean,
Well,
know, I just pardon me, Dale.
uh-huh.
Just let me get this in. I
Okay.
just saw a report on CNN from Dr. Sanjay Gupta that said that if you ate processed foods the majority of your adult life, you were actually shaving up to 30 years off
Whoa.
of your longevity. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and I must say I am someone who once, maybe at about 27, I had McDonald's and I just thought, I don't get this at all. I mean, really? And that was it. I have never eaten fast food in my entire life except for that one McDonald's hamburger. And I'm going to admit it, a couple of times I had their French fries until I heard that they got the golden brown in the French fries
Yeah.
and the crunch from soaking
Uh-oh.
their potatoes in corn syrup and sugar water to get them to
No.
fry
Right.
brown
Uh,
and crisp.
Wait,
Yeah,
you know what? I
You
think
don't
that
know what's in your food.
you don't,
Oh,
no,
go ahead.
but I was just gonna say, Diane, a minute ago, you're talking about what you like to eat in terms of your
Bad food.
indulgences.
I love bad food.
But here's
Yeah.
here's what Laura Matthys says. She
Laura
says
says no food is bad food.
no, she says who doesn't love a
Don't
delicious
label your
slice
food.
no, she says who doesn't love a delicious slice of pizza, a donut, or nachos? And Laura, running the Jazzercise studio in Oregon, you say even on occasion you have indulged. So how do you
absolutely.
balance the indulgence with moderation and looking and running your studio as well as you do?
Well, the thing is, if you deny yourself all your favorite foods, it's just not going to work. So I have my favorite foods once in a while, but they're not the bulk of my diet. I mean, food is to be enjoyed as well, but you have to fuel your body.
You have to know when to say no.
Have to know when to say no. You have to know when to stop. I think I mentioned when we talked earlier, if you're eating one of your favorite things, whether it's cookie dough or pizza, and you want to stop,
I love
you
that.
got to get the taste out of your mouth. Just go
Yeah.
get something else, go brush your teeth, do something, get the taste out of your mouth.
It's so true.
But you just have to know when to stop. And you do need to start exercising. You can't exercise away a bad diet, but you do have to exercise. And, with so many Americans, especially, well, and seniors too, just thinking that moving, I mean, there's physical activity and there's exercise. They're not the same
Yeah.
thing.
Good point.
Physical activity is just moving, walking around the house, walking to the store. Physical activity it's planned, it's getting your heart rate up, it's
Yep.
structured. An activity can be both, but you have to keep in mind that you have to work harder than you think. If you're playing pickleball, for example, and you can carry on a conversation the entire time, that might not be a hard enough workout.
Yes. And
So
I
you have to
also,
get your heart rate up.
in prep for this time spent with you today, I also read that if you keep up regular, mild aerobic exercise, that you can shave up to 10 or give yourself another 10 years of cognitive sharpness and actually hold off mental decline because you are getting blood and oxygen to your brain, which keeps it youthful.
Yes.
So I have really so adopted, and that's why I was so excited to speak to you, everything you believe. And what I got out of my medical report was at 77 years old, my body is still young enough to respond to good habits. So I would say to anybody out there, you're never too old to begin having healthy habits
Right.
every day. And you know, the other thing I love about it, and maybe you do too in your 60s and me in my 70s, I feel I'm a control freak. I'm admitting it. That's who I am. I feel more in control of my life, and that makes me feel great.
Well, you know what? We're
Absolutely.
gonna leave that on the last note, Laura, unless you want to add something, because our time is drawn to a close. We've caught Laura between classes, but go ahead, Laura. Have the last
I was
word.
going to say, when Diane said it's never too late to start good habits.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Hurricane Hawkins?
No.
So you Google her on or look her up on YouTube. She is 105 years old, and she runs in the National Senior Games. She is the oldest. She's got the record for being the oldest person, 105 years old, and she's running in the National Senior Games. Your life will be better if you
so much
exercise.
So much better.
Thing is, real quick, if I have time, Dale.
You do. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
If you exercise, I mean, people think it's not like we were in our 20s and 30s. We cared about what we looked like in our jeans so much, and you know,
I still care, but
I still care. Trust me, I do still care. But as we get older, we're talking bone health, cognitive.
Oh yeah.
We're talking having a healthy body weight. We're going to prevent illnesses, cancers. We're going to increase our life expectancy and the quality of our life. We're going to be in a better mood. This, I mean, sorry to say, but bowel functions, you know, when you exercise, everything internally works better. That makes a difference. And keep in mind, we're setting a good example too. When we're exercising as we get older, we're setting a good example. But by far, it's the quality and longevity of our life.
So much so, yes.
We got to get out there and find something that you can do, because there is something that everybody can do.
And maybe
it's the people like they want to get off the floor to play with their grandkids. Maybe they want to continue to be able to continue driving or living independently.
Be independent.
What's the motivation?
Right.
Find the motivation. Back to what you started with, Diane, the smoking. So they're saying now that sitting is the new smoking.
Yes.
So, whoa. Sitting is the new smoking. Wow.
So imagine if you're sitting and smoking. Not good at all.
Not good.
Might as well do it in a coffin. Do it in a coffin.
Yeah, double trouble there. That's
I
for
love
sure.
this interview. I hate to cut you off, but we promised you 15 minutes. We know you're between classes and sessions.
Oh, yes. I got to go teach a class.
I know. So thank you for popping in on us. Folks, for our guests, our audience, we've heard Laura Matthys. Laura Matthys started Lifestyles with Laura and began personal training and lifestyle coaching. She's been doing it for more than 36 years at a high level in Oregon, where I know it's raining right now. Has to be raining.
It is.
Of course, it's Oregon, right? So,
yes.
So thank you so much for your time. You've been delightful, Laura. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you both. All right.
Thank you. That was so good. Two like-minded women, aging women, although you're aging slower than I am, but you know.
I'm catching up to you. I'm catching up to you.
I'm trying.
And Laura, we would be remiss if we didn't give our audience the opportunity to also get a hold of you or send you information. How can they do that? By email or
Lifestyle with Laura, Lifestyle with Laura at gmail.com. My website is almost done. I just getting a new website. I'm also on Instagram, Lifestyles with Laura on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right. You guys have a good day. Stay
fantastic, Laura. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
What a great interview, Diane. I love that.
I honestly knew very early in my life that eating all those processed foods was there was, I really realized at a certain point, Dale,
Yeah.
that some of what you eat has been dead for 5 or 10
Oh my God.
years.
Seriously?
Yeah,
like a Twinkie? You mean like a Twinkie that could survive into the nuclear holocaust? It's
yeah,
horrible, junk
or
food.
even some of these fast food hamburgers, and
Oh,
they own their own cattle farms.
yeah.
It could be that maybe their restrictions to what you butcher is a little bit lax, but
Yeah.
I don't think it takes a genius to know that all those processed foods with all those chemicals, that's why interesting. I thought, well, I'm going to try and be a vegetarian.
Okay.
Good luck with that one. And I went out and bought the new substitute for meat, the Impossible Burger. And
Oh,
then somebody within Mount Sinai, my medical team, said to me, have you looked at the chemicals? And when I looked, the list of additives and
no.
chemicals to make it taste like meat
Oh,
was so overwhelming that I thought, you know what? Better to just eat meat
that's
once a
exactly
month or
right.
so, but not.
But that was
So I
such,
go always for direct protein. Yeah.
but you know what? That was such a rage, though, Diane, that you mentioned that, because I remember
I
the
thought it was the
Impossible
greatest
Burger. Yeah,
invention
that's what they were saying.
ever.
Yeah, right. But
Well,
no.
I think it was. I think it was an amazing breakthrough in food prep. But when you really look at all the chemicals in it, because I remember a couple of women I'm friends with went through late age breast cancer like me and said, you better take a look at the label on some of the stuff you're eating. And boy, they were right. I thought I was heading in a vegan direction,
Yeah.
but it was truly not healthy. So here's what I do.
Okay.
I make a game out of all of it.
How so?
I love going in for the research. How many minutes a week should I do? And usually I do all those minutes. I wish I could spread it out through the week, but the weekdays are too busy, but I'll do it over a weekend.
Okay.
And I always go for an organic primary protein, fish or chicken, and try to do, if I'm going to do red meat, which I truly love, do it once a month. And I will go for non-starchy vegetables, and I will do intermittent fasting. Now, I found all of that was really harmonious to my body and my metabolism.
Yeah.
But guess what? I did it through trial and error.
Yeah.
I did it through making a pleasure out of it. Like, oh, what are we going to cook today? Let's look at new recipes and how can we do this or that? And I truly, and I am one of the worst cooks in history, but I truly enjoy it. Again, it's about customizing your life and really being in control of it.
That's so good. But you know what? And the research is so much research on this topic in terms of aging and what you eat. There's 2 points, Diane. One is, once upon a time, there was a book called, and our audience may remember this, You Are What You Eat.
Yes.
Do you remember that back in the day? And then the other thing is, this is really interesting from the CDC. It says the less you exercise and stay active, the faster you will age. So there's a correlation.
So true.
That's underscored by research. That we've got to stay
and then
active, right?
you get on this terrible hamster treadmill of you eat processed food, and maybe you're alone now, maybe you lost your mate, and that seems like a very thrifty and good way to eat, but you will pay all of that back in medical bills. You gain weight from eating all those chemicals and preservatives and non-nutritious carbs, and then you sit more because you've gained weight and exercise less, and that is this toxic treadmill. And you know what? There's so much research out there.
Yeah, there really
is. If you just start reading it, and you understand that your brain is going to remain younger a good decade later than we mostly expect, that you will live up to 30 years longer if you do not have a diet of processed foods,
Mhm.
that you're going to be happier,
Yep.
healthier, and frankly, wealthier, because medical bills
Oh
are
my
just
gosh.
insanity
They are
today.
crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what, Diane? Here's what's interesting though, and I want to ask you this question personally. Why does this matter to you or to aging women? You're 77 years young, soon to be 78. Why how you dress? Why how what you eat? Why does that matter if someone is also 77 or tending towards 78
Why
years
wouldn't
old?
it matter?
Well,
Then
what's
it
your
would
answer?
matter more than ever. Well, I would love to live to be 102 like my friend Iris, or 105 like the lady that Laura just mentioned, who was in, all of these running
Yeah,
contests. I
Hurricane
want
Hawkins. Hurricane
Hurricane
Hawkins.
Hawkins. I
Yeah.
want to use my time on Earth really effectively. I think I've got a valuable message, and the beauty of knowledge and hindsight,
Mhm.
but you can't do it effectively if health is in the way. If
Right.
your poor health is in the way. I learned one of the biggest life lessons I have ever encountered in the last week,
Mhm.
where I took my old 77-year-old body and I
Uh-oh.
said, okay, I'm going to respect you. No more dairy products, no more heavy cream, no more ice cream, no more cream cheese,
What?
no more
What?
bagels,
Oh no.
no more red meat except once a month, no more fillers like
Yeah.
mac and cheese, so no more cheese. And I'm going to see if my body can still respond positively to that. Well, to be my age, having been in an insane career that never
Mhm.
let up for 1 minute up until this point, to have traveled, to have abused my body with TV shows at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and then again at 8 a.m. the next morning, for that old body of mine to say, yep, thank you, Diane. I really appreciate you. And now we have no cholesterol, no high blood pressure, no
Wow.
bad blood sugar. That tells me everything. So
Wow.
that alone to me
Mhm.
is like a kid getting a gold star, a whole bunch of gold stars on a book report. Your body can still do it. Just give it a chance.
But then
And the
your
rewards are
yeah.
just amazing.
But then your body rebel because I mean it's like no mac and cheese, no this, no that. So you just powered through it, Diane? So I've got this. This is not happening.
I powered through it, and I'm lucky enough to live in Manhattan in a duplex,
Yeah.
but the kitchen's on the first floor. So if
Ah.
I get upstairs by about 6 at night,
Yeah.
7 at night in the summertime, I'm actually too lazy to go back downstairs and make another full meal, and I
Yeah.
do not have any
Hey.
food of any kind, even though I have a little refrigerator on the second floor. So you know what, Dale?
What?
By
What?
the time you get to be in your mid 50s and onward, you know yourself.
Oh
I
yeah.
know if there's food around,
Mhm.
I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
So I make sure there is never any potato chips in the house, or Fritos, or
Yeah.
taco
Oh
chips, or
no, no,
oh no, no, no. And if there
no.
are, they are not on the second floor level.
You have to put an
And
effort to go
I'm
get them.
huge effort. So I
Smart.
taught myself well. I taught
Yeah.
myself, I know that I gain weight really easily. I know I hate dragging that weight around.
Right.
And I made a series of shifts and changes and promises to myself
Mhm.
for new year, new you, 22 going into 23, and I couldn't be prouder of the
You're just so
results.
and you look
Hello,
great. And you look
77
great.
years old and
Yeah.
feeling great,
Yeah.
and don't have any at this point, major health concerns weighing me down that I can't handle. So, you know
Yeah.
what? There's
What?
something great about your body responding to good treatment. And I'll bet you that most people take better care
Yep.
of their vintage car than they
Yeah.
do of their own body.
I think,
So-
or even their pets. You know, they got a balanced pet food diet, right? So
Oh,
why
you have
not?
no idea.
But then they're
what
standing
I
there
feed
with
them.
Cheetos, like chomp, chomp, chomp. But you're worried
Well,
about your balanced diet for your cat.
Yeah,
or your dog.
when I got on a super healthy diet, I
Yeah.
also put my cats on a super healthy diet, which I don't think they altogether always appreciate.
Of course
But I give
not.
them little lectures about
Aw.
this is so good for you, and this is pure salmon, and there's no preservatives in it. It doesn't ever seem to sink into them.
Yeah.
But you know what?
What?
Their choice. Their
There-
choice.
Well, you know what? In the final 5 minutes that we have, you asked a question earlier about my aerobic exercise, and I haven't forgotten about
Yeah.
answering that. So I come back to that. So walking, play golf, you know, getting out. But here's the thing: we cheat when we play golf because we use a cart instead of walking 18 holes. Right?
Exactly.
But I still feel like, okay, I got to walk to my ball. I got to hit it. I got to walk back. So I'm getting some exercise. It's intentional, which is what Laura said. Exercise has to be intentional. And
Yeah.
So that can.
I will always try, if I can, to watch a musical, whether it's Bohemian Rhapsody or it's The Gay Divorcee with, Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, but something that has music in it. So at least for 2 hours of exercise, I'm exercising along to George Gershwin or
nice.
Freddie Mercury or whoever.
Queen. Yeah, that'll get your blood going.
Intentional.
Yeah, that's so good.
Intentional aging
Yeah.
is, to me, a huge key to a successful latter part of your life.
As we come to a close, you've heard my co-host Diane Gilman from 28 years on QVC HSN, where she created DG2 denim jeans for women, selling over 20 million pairs in an incredible career. And Diane, tending to a good garden. You're obviously tending to a good garden. I like you got the green on. You even have a garden.
I got the pink on.
You got the pink
colors
on.
of spring. I'm
You
all
are
perky.
rocking it in New York City.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time. And listeners, also before we forget, in terms of tending to a good garden, also tend to the show. Meaning, click the subscribe button, like us, and follow us every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We have fresh episodes, fresh content featuring Diane Gilman and this is Dale Josie with Aging with Grace 55 plus. Tend your garden well today.
Exactly.
Hasta la vista. Bye, Diane. Until next time.
Hasta la vista.